Hello everyone, Tony Walsh here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want us to honor here in the United States, it's Memorial Day, a federal holiday for us. And it's a day in which we celebrate the American soldier that sacrificed everything for our freedom. Now there's only one other person that has made such a sacrifice, and that's our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And you'll see the cross right back there. He sacrificed it all to save our souls so that we could live in eternity with the kingdom of heaven. But the American soldier sacrificed it all so that we could have freedom and not live in a communist or a socialist society. Memorial Day is special to me. I was raised in the military. You know, I'm a history buff. You know, Andrew is currently serving in the military, but Jackie has had a family member that died while serving in the military, and which means he never took his uniform off. His name is Bennett Hubert Waters, and so it's her great uncle, if I think. Could be great, but I think it's great uncle. Died while in World War II, and the actual date would have been December 15th, 1944, and he died as a prisoner of war, being held captive by the Japanese. Now, I've done a couple of different videos where I have mentioned Uncle Hubert, and I'll try to post the links, cards up here, or down in the description where you can go back and watch those videos. So just a brief story, background story for those that haven't heard it, is Uncle Hubert, was in the Army Air Corps in World War II, and he was taken prisoner and was on a Japanese warship, or a Japanese prisoner transport ship. But the ship wasn't marked as a prisoner transport, so the United States attacked the Japanese ship. So not only was Uncle Hubert killed, a lot of soldiers were killed during that attack. So we've never got Uncle Hubert's body back. It is still over there somewheres in the Asian Pacific. Now, Jackie, her mama, and I went to Orlando, Florida the year before last and met with the Department of the United States that is working on bringing the remains home. And I've got a video for that. It's a rather long video. I think it's about 30-45 minutes. But they were telling us the process of how they're going and how they're working to find the remains of lost soldiers. And it's really unique in how they do that. One thing that I won't forget is during that time, and it was while our former president was the president, they said that President Trump, and some of you may not like this, but it really doesn't bother me. Just turn the video off. But they said President Trump does a lot behind the scenes to get these service men and women back. Now, I'm assuming there's some women, but to get these soldiers back home for one last time. So I just thank him and thank everybody in the government, regardless of politics, that is working to bring these soldiers home. But saying that, they told us the story of how he was captured and, in what presumably his ultimate death would have been. And they've actually taken DNA samples from a couple of family members. So that way, if they ever find bones, they can hopefully try to match up some DNA. Depending on, obviously, the skeletal remains and things like that, as to where if they can get any DNA from those bones. Anything that has been burnt, there is no DNA left. But a real interesting process. But what we received, and this is new to you, I haven't posted a video on this part. What we received, now this is May of 2025. What we received in February of 2025 is all of Uncle Hubert's medals that he earned and deserved while serving our country. So again, thank you to, and I can't now remember the official name of this department that does this, but thank you for all your work behind the scenes of honoring these soldiers. I want to talk about the 10 medals that we received in February and share them with you today. So the first one is the Bronze Star, and I'm not going to take it out of the package because I don't want, you know, my hands to be touching it. But this is the Bronze Star, and it's a U.S. military decoration awarded for heroic achievement, heroic service, meritorious achievement, or meritorious service in a combat zone. It was developed during World War II and is the 4th highest ranking award a service member can receive for their sacrifice, bravery, and honor while serving their country. Okay, the second one is the Purple Heart. And it's a U.S. military decoration awarded in the name of the President to those wounded or killed while serving honor after April 5th, 1917 with the U.S. military. With its forerunner, the Badge of Military Merit, which took the form of a heart made of purple cloth, the Purple Heart is the oldest military award still given to U.S. military members. The National Purple Heart Hall of Honor is located in New Windsor, New York. Now, I had forgot that, so before Andrew leaves Fort Drummond, New York, that sounds like a side trip that we need to make. Now, the third one is the Prisoner of War Medal. And it's a military award of the United States Armed Forces, which was authorized by Congress and signed into law by President Ronald Reagan on November 8, 1985. The United States Code citation for the POW medal is 10 U.S.C. 1128. So thank you, President Reagan and Congress at that time. Oh, a little bit more about that. The Prisoner of War Medal may be awarded to any person who was a prisoner of war after April 5th, 1917. That was the date of the United States entry into World War I, was April 6th. It was awarded to any person who was taken prisoner or held captive while engaged in action against an enemy of the United States, while engaged in military operations involving conflict with an opposing armed force, or while serving with friendly forces engaged in armed conflict against an opposing armed force in which the United States is not a belligerent party. As an amendment to Title 10 of the United States Code in 2013, the medal is also awarded for captivity under circumstances which the Secretary concerned finds were comparable to those circumstances under which persons have generally been held captive by enemy forces during periods of armed conflict. The person's conduct while in captivity must have been honorable. This medal may be awarded posthumously to the surviving next of kin of the recipient, in which my mother-in-law is the oldest surviving member of kin. No more than one Prisoner of War medal may be awarded. For any subsequent award of the medal, service stars will be awarded and worn on the suspension and service ribbon of the medal. The next one is the Good Conduct Medal. And it's one of the oldest military awards. The criteria for Good Conduct Medal are defined by Executive Orders 8809, 9323, and 10444. The Good Conduct Medal is specific to each one of the 6 branches of the armed forces. It is currently awarded to any active duty enlisted member of the U.S. military who completes 3 consecutive years of honorable and faithful service, or the initial term of enlistment if less than 3 years. During times of war, the Good Conduct Medal may be awarded for 1 year of faithful service. The Good Conduct Medal may also be awarded posthumously to any service member that dies in the line of duty. The fifth one is the Presidential Unit Citation, and it's awarded for units of extraordinary heroism in action against an armed enemy occurring on or after December 7th, 1941. An individual assigned or permanently attached to and also present for duty with a unit in the action for which the Presidential Unit Citation is awarded may wear the emblem as a permanent part of their uniform. The next one is the American Defense Service Medal, and it's a military award of the U.S. Armed Forces and established by Executive Order 8808 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt on June 28, 1941. The medal was intended to recognize those military service members who had served on active duty between September 8, 1939 and December 7, 1941. The Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal is a U.S. military award for the Second World War, and it was awarded to any member of the U.S. Armed Forces who served in the Asiatic Pacific Theater from 1941 to 1945. Additional awards for the medal are represented by a bronze star worn on the award. This one is the World War II Victory Medal, and it was established by Congress on July 6, 1945. With congressional authorization for the medal specified that it was to be awarded to any member of the U.S. military, including member of the armed forces of the government of the Philippine Islands, who served on active duty or as a reservist between December 7, 1941 and the ending of the hostilities as declared by the President. Now this one is for soldiers who took part in the liberation of the Philippine Islands from the Japanese during World War II. This one is the Philippine Liberation Medal. In the bronze star is a tiny bronze star, and it's to be attached to or worn on the ribbon. It's a campaign star and signifies that the soldier took part in one campaign during the liberation of the Philippines. In this last one is the Honorable Service Lapel Button, also known as the Ruptured Duck by members of the military. It's a lapel button awarded for honorable federal military service between 1925 and 1946. The U.S. Departments of War and the Navy issued the lapel button to eligible servicemen and women upon discharge. It's made of gilt brass, except during metal shortages. Service members who received the plastic version were later allowed to trade it in for the brass version. So that's the 10 medals, ribbons, and all that we received for Uncle Hubert. I thank those in the government that were able to make this come true. And I pray for all those families. Sorry about the background noise there. It's farming season here. But again, I just thank the government for not forgetting these soldiers. If you don't have a lost soldier, you don't know what it's like. When I see these soldiers come home after years and years and watch these things, these ceremonies on Facebook, as a grown 62-year-old man, it still brings a tear to my eyes. While we have a grave site here in Blackshear for Uncle Hubert, it's empty. And we just long for the day that we have something that we can place there. To all those families that have sacrificed a loved one, thank you. To all those families that have somebody still serving in the military, thank you. To those that have served and are now living a life doing something else, but if you served, thank you. And I just pray that God blesses each and every one of you and all these families that have sacrificed for this country. Y'all take care, and God bless.